This is where I bring together entrepreneurs from all over the world. It's all about positioning and strategy to be able to make yourself visible to the corporate giants in the world. But once you understand the small things, there's 4 things I say that you need to do to work with corporates. If you can make them money, save them time, or push an initiative. So what I try and do is work with entrepreneurs to understand their corporate landscape. And when I'm talking about corporates, it doesn't have to be the big organizations. They could be the smaller organizations. It'd be companies just down the road from where you live. You know, it could be shops, it could be libraries, it could be educational institutes. These are just companies that have staff.
If you can leave the audience with one thing of value or something you think that they need to know, what would it be?
How can you make an impact on the world when you're only tiptoeing through life? I intend to make a mark in my life so that I can make a mark in the world.
Today we got something special for y'all. She's wearing all the hats. Michelle Raymond is an international speaker, board advisor, leadership strategist, and HR futurist. With over 25 years of experience, she advises organizations in complex, regulated environments on how to protect and retain critical talent to strengthen executive capability and to mitigate employee risk. If that wasn't enough, she founded the People's Partner LLC and is a non-executive director. She's worked with Amazon, BT, Deloitte, and supports entrepreneurs in securing high-value corporate engagements. And she's the author of David's Guide to Goliath and The Talent Revolution. I'm your host, Romeo. This is Project W.I.R.E. Let's get into it. Michelle.
Hi.
Thank you for coming.
Good to be here.
So I want to start off with something a little different this time. What do you value the most?
I value friendship and family. I mean, that's 2 things, right? Can I have 2 things?
Absolutely.
Thank you. So I definitely value my family and friendship. I will take umbrage if anything was to happen to, especially my close friends and my family. Yeah, I'm the ride or die chick. That's what I value.
That actually is really good to hear. That's very refreshing to hear.
Yeah.
Because that was not what I was expecting.
What were you expecting?
Because you're this big time like corporate client getter and just big businesswoman, and a lot of people have a misconception that people in your position only value work and growth and not family and the things that matter.
Yeah. And to be fair, I seem to have this misconception that probably my social media looks like this big bad boss. And then when people meet me in person, they think, "Oh my God, you're really nice." And I'm like, "Don't I look nice online?" But yeah, that's me. And like you said, we wear different hats. When we're showing up in business, we have a certain type of behavior, and we act differently when we're around friends and family and our loved ones.
How do you like juggle all the different aspects of life and still keep it balanced the way you do?
Well, I don't keep a balance.
Okay.
Let's keep it real. I do not have balance. Sometimes I am so engrossed in my work, working with my clients and delivering top tier service with them, that I don't always have time for friends and family and all the leisurely things. But what I've done, I feel like I've done it right, is I've made sure, like for my daughter, my mom, I've mentioned to them, I said, listen, at this period of time, I'm going all in. So I won't have time to do this. I won't have time to go to family meetings, family gatherings, just for this period of time. And so I make sure when it's that time, it's just work time. And then when it's family time, laptop is away, which I find very hard to do.
Of course.
But I'm forcing myself to do that. So when I am present with my friends and family, I am totally present. So yeah, do you call that balance? I don't know. Sometimes they weave into each other, but that's life, right? That is life.
That is life. I love that. Thank you for that. So before we really get into the episode, tell us a little bit more about yourself. That was a great introduction. You have a lot going on, but who really is Michelle?
So Michelle Raymond. No, I think your intro said it all really, but there's parts of that which I always like to talk about, which is not on my bio, that I'm a very strong Christian, for example, a total believer in God, and that frames my life and how I work and how I move and how I do life. So that's a really big thing. Apart from that, you heard that I've worked with some of the largest organizations delivering leadership capability, entrepreneurship and innovation, but I've also worked with smaller organizations, charitable organizations. And outside of that, being the corporate baddie, let's call it, I'm also got another side to me, which is quite jovial, quite creative, and that's where my singing comes into it. So not many people know.
Okay.
But yes, I
Talk
do
about that.
a bit of singing.
Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so I have an agency. I'm with an agency. I was also with a choir, and we travelled the world, literally, doing backing singing for some of the biggest stars in the world. Kylie Minogue, Luther Vandross, rest his soul. We've done Rod Stewart, we've done Burna Boy, we've done Stormzy.
Are y'all seeing this? Are y'all seeing this?
And not many people know that. And this is the side of me that I don't really show online very often.
Because I didn't know that.
No. And, but yeah, I've been doing it for quite a while and I love it. I sing soprano, so I sing quite high.
Okay.
And I can sing other ranges as well, but I sit within the soprano. And yeah, I've done the Brit Awards, I've done Mobo Awards. Yeah, I've done it all.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you have a very full life.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're very blessed. I love that for you.
Thank you.
So moving forward, like, what are you focusing on right now? What are you working on right now? You're here in Dubai with me.
Yes.
Were you always here? Like, what's going on?
No. So I'm a newbie. I'm a newbie to the city. Although I've been traveling back and forth to Dubai for many, many years. And a lot of people thought that I already lived out here. I made the move actually earlier than I was meant to make the move. My daughter, who I didn't realize was more like me than I thought, decided that she wasn't going to university. She finished her studies and she was going to work in Dubai. And I was like, how are you going to work in Dubai? You've never been to Dubai. What are you talking about? The only time that she even stepped foot in the city was literally we were on a cruise and we were here for a day. That is it. So she's not really seen Dubai. So I found it really quite a surprise that she wanted to do this. And I feel that she's pretty introverted. So I was like, what are you going to do in Dubai? You need to, it's not for the weak-hearted out here.
No, it is not.
All right, let's call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
You have to be on your A game. And I just thought, I don't think I want to put her in that position. But she was, she's strong-willed, focused. And so she came out here to live when I was already out here on holiday.
Okay.
So I extended my time here to make sure I could set her up as the motherly thing to do, get her an apartment, a car, make sure she's sorted. Then I flew back to the UK. And while I was out there, I just thought, actually, I probably could, move my plans sooner. And yeah, then I came back out that same year and I haven't gone back. So
would you say that your daughter was like very insightful and made you kind of like question
She
yourself?
was the catalyst because I was thinking, I thought I had more time. There was plans I had in the UK. I ran a really big summit in the UK and I've run that for 2 years and I was going to do it again. But yeah, the plans changed and now I'm here making Dubai my home.
So what summit? You mentioned the summit. What is?
Yes.
Tell us more about that.
It's the Diverse Business Summit. And this is where I bring together entrepreneurs from all over the world with corporates. This is based on my book, David's Guide to Goliath, where it's all about positioning and strategy to be able to make yourself visible to the corporate giants in the world. They want to work with smaller business owners. They want to work with underrepresented people, but they don't have the access. They don't know what we do. And I'm like the middleman, making sure that the entrepreneurs know what to say, know what to do, how to act, how to behave, how to make sure you're anti-risk so that you're positioned for corporate contracts. And so the event brought together, and the 2 events I've had Lloyd's Banking Group, I've had Meta, Heinz, BP, I've had like some massive brands, JC Decor, CBRE, and I've managed to bring together between 200 and 300 entrepreneurs each year. and, to make business, connect. And yeah, it's been fab, actually. It was actually fab.
Don't sleep on her, guys. Don't sleep on, no, because this is so big. I don't even think people realize this.
Yeah.
Unless they're really looking between the lines, a lot of people, this is going to go over a lot of people's heads.
Yeah.
Why? Because you can speak more on it, but I see that there's a very, very big gap with entrepreneurs and understanding the corporate world.
Yes.
They think, oh, it's just business. No, it's a different language.
Yeah.
Right? So can you speak a little bit more on that?
Yeah, and it's a different language, it's a different beast. But once you understand the small things, there's 4 things I say that you need to do to work with corporates. And I've simplified it. If you can make them money, save them money, save them time, or push an initiative. But those are the things you need to do. So if it's just a nice to have, it's not going to be seen as urgent and for them to spend their money this quarter or the next quarter. So what I try and do is work with entrepreneurs to understand their corporate landscape. And when I'm talking about corporates, it doesn't have to be the big organizations. They could be the smaller organizations. It'd be companies just down the road from where you live. It could be shops, it could be libraries, it could be educational institutes. These are just companies that have staff. And it's how do you position your product, your service, your offer that they want to buy it. We are so used to selling to each other. We sell, B2C all the time.
For the people who don't know, not to stop you,
Yes.
B2C, B2B, B2G, can you explain
Yes,
that to the
so
audience?
business to consumers. So like you and I, we will sell to each other. We'll sell to another entrepreneur, another consumer. But what tends to happen is the pool becomes diluted. And when you want to make big money, if you want to ask somebody to work with you and you're charging 20, 30, 50K, that's quite a lot of money depending on your niche area. But my thing is, why don't you charge a company that price, 50, 60, 80,000, 100,000? You do less work for the corporates than you do for entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs want blood. They want you to be on call 24/7. I have retained clients who are corporate clients. And I'm going to say this on the podcast.
Go crazy.
And they don't call me. I might touch base with them once a month, if that. I've got a client, I haven't touched base with them about 2-3 months, and I feel guilty. And I'm like, let me do some work for them. They're paying me all this money, right? And so once you're clever enough to see that there is gold on the other side of corporates, and you build the right network of corporate entities, and when I'm talking about corporate entities, I call them the insiders. The 3 I's, right? You need insiders, influencers, and the impacted. And you just need someone who's an insider. They could be the receptionist. They could be the cleaner. They could be the office manager. Then you've got the influencers. These are the people that have an ear to the decision makers. And they could be the COO. They could be heads of divisions. We all have friends who might work in corporate. And how many of us have exercised or leveraged that relationship to get a corporate contract? And then you have the impacted. And these are the end users that need what you have. And I always say to my clients, look in your Rolodex, look in your network, look in your LinkedIn contacts. Who is working? Because not everybody is self-employed. Not everybody are entrepreneurs. And leverage those connections to find out what's going on within the organization and be the solution to their problem.
Oof.
Like, that's a whole masterclass right there, right?
That was very concise and to the point. But what does that actually look like?
In practice.
Yes, because I'm sure you've seen a lot of people, because what you just said, everybody wants that.
Yes.
Everybody wants to make all this money
Yes.
and not have to be contacted.
Yeah.
Right? Until you reach out to them.
Yeah.
But they don't realize the positioning goes a lot further than just the way you think it looks like. Right? There's, I'm sure, a lot of steps and a lot of footwork and sweat equity that actually goes into that to be able to position yourself to get there, right?
Yeah.
So can you speak to like the clients that you've worked with that maybe came in with an unrealistic out view and did not get those desired results?
Yeah.
How did that go?
I've had some consumer clients, entrepreneurial clients who want to work with corporates and they think that just by showing up on LinkedIn, work should come to them. Or they've had coaches or consultants before tell them, oh, charge X amount, this big money, and, the work will come to you. And it doesn't work like that. Working with corporates is a long game. So it can take long, but the dividends pay off. And it's about building that network. And I always say, build it before you need it. All right. So be the resource for people within organizations. Don't sell anything yet. Just be there for them. Because what happens is they bring you into their network. It's very much a trust thing with organizations, because it's not their money that's paying for you. It's the company's money. And they have to make sure that if I'm going to bring you in, you're going to A, do the job, and B, do it to the best of your ability. And you're going to make me look good. If I'm going to bring you in and we're going to use the company's money, then that needs to happen. So what I try and do is create that network before I even need it. I've had clients that have come to me and they said, oh, Michelle, I've put out this offer and no one's bought. I posted 3 times a week on LinkedIn and I've had nothing. And I said, it's more than that. It's more, how about you going to some events? Actually pay that $200 and go to a conference where other corporates are there. If I was to just go to entrepreneurial events, I'm only going to be around other entrepreneurs. But if I pay and I go to an accounting event, a marketing event, or I might go to, let's say, a supply chain event. It may not sound glossy. It doesn't sound sexy. They don't do sexy advertising, but my corporate market's going to be there. I'll be sitting next to somebody who is head of marketing. I'll be sitting next to somebody who is the CEO of a division. That's where I need to be. So that's where I put my energy and my time going to those events. I make sure that I go to award ceremonies, because that's where they're going to be. I make sure that I go to black tie events, because that's where they're going to be. I don't go to lots and lots of entrepreneurial events. Yes, I make sure I go because I need to keep, I need to keep that relationship with my peer-to-peer. But I also know that if I want to work within corporates, I need to be seen where they are. So if that means going to like clubs, like golf clubs, then I'm going to go to the golf club. If it's polo events, I'm going to go to the polo events because I go where they are. I don't expect them to come to me. And then I substack that with making sure I'm prolific on LinkedIn. I'm talking about things that's current to them, that makes sense to them, that they can resonate with. And that's how you build your network with them. So when you go in to say, listen, I know that you have this issue. I've been writing about it. I've been in your circle. Talk to me about it. I become that trusted advisor, and it's easy for them to buy from me.
That's actually extremely clever, and it sounds very simple. Like if you want A, you got to do A. If you want B, you got to do B. But why do you think it is that entrepreneurs still don't do the thing?
Because they have an inflated sense of ego. And I'm going to be I've had it myself, where I just think, come to me. I know what I'm doing. I'm the best in my field. But I know that I still have to do the work behind it. Like this week, I put together a list of 400 publications in the corporate sphere that are looking for writers. I had to sit painstakingly using a bit of AI, using a bit of this, and using my staff to gather that data together. And then I'm sending emails out to them and saying, I can write something on entrepreneurship, on innovation. This is what I do. Because these are the magazines that they read. I need to be on them. And one of the things I've actually advised one of my clients to do is try and get in the in-flight magazines of airlines, especially the business class. Why? Because you have corporates who are going on business class. They read through, they skim through the magazines, and who they see? They might see your article. Try and get in the in-flight entertainment where they have podcasts. I've met a number of people who've been on those podcasts who I've met out in Dubai. And now you've got corporates who are on the podcast and they see your work, they buy your book, then they trust you and they know that they can work with you. So you have to think outside of the box for this. It's not a standard. And the thing is, what I teach, AI can't tell you. This is the great thing about it. AI will never tell you to do what I've just told you to do. ChatGPT, Claude, Grok, none of them would be, because this comes through painstakingly experience doing the work. And I've been doing this work for a long time. So I know what they look for. And as the world is changing and adapting and evolving, I've got to evolve. I've got to adapt. And so I know now the next stage is partnerships. And that's where I'm taking the client journey on now, how to partner with the right companies.
So you're talking about value in terms of just costs.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't cost me anything to work with you, because I'm getting a value out of it.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
And the value is what you just described. All that experience, that's not something I want to do.
Yeah.
With respect.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
But I want to know, okay, what do I do now, given what you've done?
Yes.
Right. I don't want to have to figure it out.
Yes.
So
exactly.
And those are the best entrepreneurs, or I should say coaches, mentors that I've had, is the ones that I know for absolute fact.
Yeah.
I couldn't have found anywhere else.
Yeah.
It's because of what they went through. So I think when it comes to the entrepreneurs that I've seen,
Yeah.
I don't know about you, they have this basic product or this basic service or this basic coaching thing they can go charge $10,000, when in reality it's probably worth $300.
And look how AI is going to shorten everybody's product life cycle.
Yep.
So you need to now think about, what can I do that has some sort of level of longevity? How can I work with the right people to shorten the learning curve, so you don't have to do the 400, because now I've done it, I can create a list and then I can sell you the list. You don't have to do it. And so that's what we need to do, is think about, what do we have that makes us valuable? Sitting in your corner of your office plot and coming up with an idea is not good enough. We need to test the market to see if there's longevity, and how can we do it either in collaboration with AI, or do it that AI doesn't steal our jobs.
So were you always this way?
Always. I've always been like this. Always. Yeah.
Did you just always been an entrepreneur?
Oh no, I've not always been an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur now for the last 15 years.
Okay. So what was the lead up?
So I was working in-house as a HR manager for a property company, and I was working there for about 10, 11 years. And I was working for a big IT firm before that in the HR role. So I've always been within HR and leadership, always been. But I've always been my own boss, even when I've been working. So like when I was HR manager at my last employed job, you know, I had my own office. I can really set my own pace of work. And I've always been diligent and disciplined, which means I know that I knew at that time I could work for myself and still get up on time and do the work. I didn't need anyone to review my work. I didn't need anyone to hold me accountable. And it's at that stage I thought, probably I could see if I could do this myself. And I did. And, you know, touch wood, we're still here.
Absolutely. But how were you able to put yourself in that position to flex the discipline that you had, to be able to set your own schedule or still have that level of respect and trust to kind of do your own thing? How does one do that?
You have to see things bigger than yourself, because I just see Michelle as a little cog in a big wheel. And I just feel like I have to, my life is purpose driven. So I cannot have the days, and to be fair, even this week I've had a few low days, right? I'm suffering from brain fog, forgetting things. I'm going through that stage of life.
Oh, you and I both.
Yeah. Well, as a woman, I'm in that perimenopause. Yeah. But in the midst of the brain fog and losing focus, losing control slightly, I remember that I'm here for a purpose, and I have to deliver that purpose before I leave this earth. So I can't let perimenopause and brain fog and forgetfulness and depression and low days stop me. I'm one of those people that actually, I know what I need to do. I've got to do it. And I remember what I'm here to do. And I remember a friend of mine, she said, I see you as a Moses. Yeah, hear me out. Now, we know that Moses took the children of Israel out, and with the help of God, he was able to part the sea. She drew a picture of me opening the sea and walking through and bringing people through. And this is the people who want more from life, who want visibility, who thought, oh my God, I could never sell to a company. Who me, just little me. She saw me building that community of people and giving them a way when there seemed to be no way. That has stuck with me. That has stuck with me. And I thought to myself, and every time I feel low, I think to myself, no, even if I have one community member and that's my daughter, I have to show her there's a way out. I'm going to show her, even in your down days, even in your low days, remember what you are called to do. And that's going to get you up. That's going to get you disciplined. That's going to give you the diligence. Not everybody has that. And you can't teach it.
No, you cannot.
You cannot teach it. You cannot coach it. You cannot consult it.
I just got goosebumps.
You can't do it. It's either in you or not in you.
Yeah.
But what people can do is they can train themselves to be a bit more disciplined.
Yeah.
But the passion and the fire, you cannot train that.
But like you said, it's purpose.
It's
because now
purpose.
that's what's getting you up. You're really not thinking much of it, whether you're having a low day or or a fine day. You're gonna get it regardless because you have a purpose.
Yeah. Undeniably. I do whatever it takes. I go for my prayer walks, I do some meditation, and then I collate, I audit all the things that I've done that you belittle, that you undermine. They think, no, but I did that.
Please talk about the auditing in more depth. Please talk about it, because everybody's
do more of that.
I'm not doing that, or yeah, I've done it, but have you? What does it look like?
Listen,
please.
I did it. And I think you need to do it with somebody, though, to be fair. Somebody has to prompt you. And I had someone prompting me, and he was saying, but think about where you were this time and what you did and what you overcame. I thought, oh my God, yes. I've been in massive boardrooms with millionaires. I've been in billionaires. I've organised lunches with high net worth people. Who, me? I did that. I've also helped people move from A to B. I help people get 10, 15K contract, speaking engagements within companies. I did that. And I'm like, oh my God. And I have to think to myself, Michelle, but you are good. And you have the receipts to show it. That's the thing. A lot of people say they're good because they've got in this mindset to say you're good and do the mantra, but you have no receipts. I've got the receipts. I've also can see where I used to be, in the sense of before I became the entrepreneur, when I was married to my first husband, my life was just revolved around him. It was making him look great, him be great. And I was a very good helpmate, But being the great helpmate, I put my own desires on the back burner. And when things eventually fell apart with us, and he actually ended up going to prison, I thought, oh my God, I need to stand up on my own two legs. I have to make my own money and I have to look after myself and my family. And that's what I did. And that, again, when I look at all of that and the bad publicity I had with all of that, he was accused and found guilty of some really heinous crimes, which was in the newspaper, which was on ITV News, which is a news station in the UK. It was in newspapers, it was in magazines. I had the BBC reach out to me. They wanted to interview me. I said nothing. I kept quiet. And I know that there is power in silence. And when I looked at all of that and I audited my life and I thought, no, I deserve the flowers. I deserve to sit on that table. And you have to audit your life, because otherwise you just keep living and going through the motions, and you don't take stock and be grateful of how far you've come. And I'm now the wrong side of 40, right? So I feel like there's less years ahead of me than behind me. Or people might say, no, Michelle, the cup is half full, half empty. That part. But I still know that I've got so much more to accomplish. I have so much more to accomplish. So I always have to make sure I'm auditing what I'm doing, my behaviours, how I'm showing up, how people see me, how I see myself.
Which is a very, very good pattern to have. I think a lot of people look at themselves, and when we mention patterns, it's not just bad patterns, also good patterns, also habits. Right. And I think a very great habit to have is the habit of grounding yourself and being able to ground yourself without an external person or party needing to do that. So can you explain how that works in your life and how it bears fruit?
Yeah, I do have really good habits, and I don't always stick with them if I'm honest. But there's things I do, even just waking up in the morning and just doing certain things before I start the day. I'm not like this like 5 a.m. wake up person. I like my sleep. I like my sleep. But what I've taught myself is not to have to follow what social media says a real entrepreneur, the 6 a.m. club. Nah, friend. Me, I'm waking up at 9, 10 o'clock. Whenever my body feels it's ready to wake up. But then when I wake up, I know once I'm awake, I give 100%.
Of course.
That's the difference. So, I try and train myself to do certain things. I'm training myself to make sure I'm just praying. And even if it's not praying, it's just spending time with myself. Not on social media. The doom scrolling is real, Romeo.
Facts.
No.
I'm knowing.
It's really real.
I'm knowing. But here's the thing, we could doom scroll good stuff.
Yes.
So if it's like, again, knowing yourself. If you know you're gonna doom scroll and you're gonna be on BS,
Yeah.
man, make another Instagram, TikTok, whatever, and follow a lot of productive pages and pages with valuable insight, and at least absorb that if you're gonna be up on that.
I've had to literally unfollow certain things because I just thought you're taking up so much of my time. It's so addictive, and I'm not learning anything from this. And now I've put on notifications. Certain people, let me follow, let me just listen and just edify and educate myself. But so things like that I do. Listen to motivational stuff in the mornings. That gets me pumped up. I'm a big music fan. I love listening to music, getting me in that mood. So those are the small habits I do. And if I know that I've got to work on like proposals or pitching on a Monday, from the Sunday night, I prepare the area. I do not have time in the morning to be, where's my laptop, where's my phone? So I have everything set out from the night before. So I just sit down ready to work. So when I go to work, usually around 10:30, I am starting my work. I'm not fraffing about trying to find my charger wire and all of that. No. So those kind of habits keep me on track.
Sounds like when preparation meets hustle.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes. And I like to say habits over hustle.
I love it.
Once you have the right habits, you're not really hustling. You're not really doing the grind. I mean, we're all grinding, but we're not hustling.
It doesn't feel as hard.
Yeah,
right?
It doesn't feel as hard because now I'm in a flow. Yeah. This is my flow.
I think we need a moment of silence for that one. That was good. You're doing it. I love it. So, can you tell me something? Yeah. When because you mentioned the down days, the days where you don't feel like yourself fully, in those moments, because I know there's a lot of people that's probably listening to this or watching this that can feel that and resonate with it.
Yeah.
But they don't know how to be you. But the thing is, they may not have to be you. They can be themselves in their own way. But how does somebody like that find out how to explore themselves or ground themselves or develop those habits for themselves, tailored to themselves?
Yeah. So in our journey of life, and this is a mentor who had mentioned this to me. Let me see if I can remember it properly. He said we have high highs and low lows. But we can only remember the high highs and the low lows. It's going to be very hard for you to remember just a mediocre day. So for people listening to this, watching this, I would say when you have those low days, remind yourselves of your high highs. It could be experiences. It could be places you've went. It could be things people have said to you. It could be something... times shared together with loved ones. Those peak highs you need to bring back to your remembrance because it changes your disposition. It changes the way you sit up. Look, I've just naturally just sat up, right? Your stance, and everybody needs to know what they need to do. What's their go-to to get me out of this so that you don't stay in it too long. It's fine to be in it at some point or another. But what happens is if you stay in it too long, it becomes a cycle and then it starts to prey on your mind. So I always think, what are my peak moments that I can bring back to my remembrance? So one of my peak moments is like the first time that I organised my summit, when I stood on stage and I looked across and I saw a flurry of heads and I saw corporates and I had sponsorship from these corporates. for me, that was a peak moment. So I remember that when I'm on my low days. Another peak moment is when I did my TEDx talk. The day before, I was crippled with a back pain. I couldn't even walk. Even when I did my TEDx talk, they had to help me get onto the red spot. Couldn't walk. As soon as I opened my mouth, the pain went immediately. And that TEDx talk has been seen by thousands. It's now on TED Talks on their main platform. And that was a peak high. So everybody has their own peak high and their low periods of time. And I would definitely encourage people to audit what their peak highs are and bring it back into remembrance, because it will just bring a smile back to your face. It just changes your whole aura, your whole energy. And then you feel like, yeah, I can do this. And you snap out of your low states very quickly.
Just to make that a little more digestible and transferable even for some of the people listening and watching, how did you feel inside when you delivered that TEDx talk? Because now people can be like, okay, well, when did I feel that she felt?
Yes.
That way I can know what my peak highs are. Like, what was that feeling in your bones?
It was, all I can say is it was electric. I had 2,000 people come out to that TEDx talk. I remember I put it on social media and a number of people said they're going. And when you're on the stage, on that spot, because it's an iconic spot, right? So I was like, I'm on the red spot. And that enough was exciting me. And then I looked out and I couldn't see anyone's faces specifically because it was dark when I was looking out. But all I knew is they came to listen to me. That feeling of warmth, that feeling of I matter, that I'm valuable, I'm someone special. I may not be special to everyone, but I don't need to be special to everybody. I just need to be special to a few people. And that's how I felt. I felt energetic. I felt loved. I had a standing ovation after we finished. And when I went round the back to see who came, there are people that have been just following me on social media I've never met before. People who might have just seen me here or there. And they came, they had to pay, right? I think it was like $20 or something similar to that. But they left the comfort of their homes to come and see me there. And that is electric for me, absolutely electric. And every time I speak on stage, and I've spoken in the US, Switzerland, Bucharest, Dubai, everywhere, every time I stand on stage, I know that people are going to listen to me, but they're also going to act on what I say. So I take that very, 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 very seriously. So I have to make sure what I'm saying is truth, even if it's my truth. And I make sure that what's being said, it can change lives, it can transform. And that feeling makes you powerful. Let's not play. Loads of people want to be speakers out here. But it's a serious game. Because every time you listen to someone, you think they're talking the truth. So if you're talking to someone and they're just talking out their ass, what is that? You're in a power of position. And so that's the feeling I have. That's the feeling I had when I did the TEDx talk. I felt powerful. I felt enlightened. I felt empowered. And that's a strong feeling.
And it sounds like you were filled with purpose because the impact you were able to deliver.
Yeah, sure.
Do you think that can attribute to other people and getting them to identify these things for themselves? On how is it that I can impact people positively and actually move the needle for them?
Yeah. I say this all the time, that when I walk into your presence, you cannot stay the same. You shouldn't stay the same. You shouldn't stay the same. I know what I have within me. I know what I have on me. How can me and you be in the same room together and you go out more depressed than you came in? Could never. And so that's why I know, and that's why I don't hang around with lots of people, because what the gift I have cannot be contained in just anybody who are not serious about life, they don't want good for people. So, and I'm definitely not an empath either. So if you're feeling low, that won't work with me because I have enough in me. But I know there's people who are empaths. So, and I have to be careful of that as well. So that's why I know my purpose on life. I know what I've got in me. It's special. It's definitely special. And so I have to honor it as well. I have to honor that.
Like when it came to your professional development, when you stepped into the entrepreneur world fully, what kind of growth did you see then that was not present previously? Because I'm sure at all stages of life you were growing.
Yeah, I was rubbish. Man. I was rubbish.
How so?
But you know what? I'm rubbish, but I'll go for it. I don't care. I just go for it. And I think because I've had that on my side, that's just worked for me. So when I made the real transition when I was at this event. I think there was about 400 people. And there's a guy, he said, if there's anyone here who's run their own business and wants to come on stage and talk about the business, come up. My husband pushed up my arm and I was like, what are you doing? What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
And out of the 400 people, why do you say, you there at the back, come here? I'm like, who? Not me. Can't be me because I don't run my own business.
Yeah, you with the glasses.
I was still fully employed and happy. I was never one of those people. I want to run my own business. I want to be my own boss, because I see people who are running their own business, being their own boss, and they just look tired and haggard, always complaining that a client has paid their money, and I was getting my regular pay.
Done up.
So I was like, nah, I don't need that. But I went on the stage and he said, talk about it. And I thought, how do I talk about this business that I don't actually own? I don't have a business, but I understood HR and I was in HR. So I talked about why small businesses, even though they're small or they're startups, they should still engage HR from the get-go in terms of hiring staff, getting policies and procedures and employment contracts, and just dealing with my focus was on contract law and employee engagement. When I got off that stage, I had so many people coming up to me, oh, Michelle, I need your help. Can you help us with this contract? And we've got this staff that is doing A, B, and C. I'd acted like I was running a business. I said, oh, let me take your number. Hey, listen, I had nothing. I was taking people's numbers, people's email addresses. I met them up in Pizza Express because I don't have no office. And I was going through their contracts. I charged them £50. I didn't have no bank account. I just, no business bank account. And I said, you can pay my personal, you can give me £50 cash. That's how much I was charging. That same night that I spoke at that event, it was playing in my head. I thought, oh my God, do you think I can make a business out of this? Never thought about it before. That same night, God dropped in my spirit, Michelle, you are good with people.
That was a business operation. You just did it.
I just did it. And he said, call yourself the people's partner. I didn't even check on GoDaddy or anything. If the name's gone, I just thought the people's partner. I registered it on HMRC. And I went from nothing to limited company. I didn't even start the solopreneur or anything. I just went all in. No business plan, no marketing strategy, no nothing. I just met people where they were and did business. And that's how I started. And then I end up leaving my company that same year in December because I worked very hard that year. I needed to get my bonus at the end of the year. And then I left fully. And I've never looked back.
Wow. That's what massive action looks like.
Crazy.
Action,
crazy.
Just confidence. And you know what that kind of reminds me of? The fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Can you clear up what that means? Can you clear up what that means? You're not really faking it. Because you already are that.
Yeah. It's like you don't have to have all your ducks in a row. You do not need to have everything sorted before you take action. And that's the problem. Every entrepreneur wants to make sure they have the right marketing strategy, the right this, the right that before I put my offer out. No. Because that's just procrastination tools. It's just another way to hold back. I'm not ready. Like when I say to my clients, you need to do a webinar, call it a masterclass or call it a lunch and learn. Oh, I'm not ready. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm going to be talking about. I said, you're just marketing it right now. You can work out what you're going to deliver, but just market the idea. Get people interested. do a wait list at the very least to see if it's interesting. And that's how I work. So even when I'm looking at the next phase of my life, it's not all mapped out, but I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to do it because I just know what I'm like. And if it fails, it fails. But there's learning in the failure.
Yeah.
There's always learning in the failure. I always say, what could I have done differently? What have I learned? I've made some big mistakes. And even now, I feel like I'm paying for it. But I'm all right to take humble pie, to eat humble pie. And that's what I've had to do with one of my big clients. You know, I'm eating humble pie and I've apologized and I'll do whatever it takes because I know once I get them back in my good books or I'm back in their good books, they're going to be a client.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I don't mind. I'll tell you a little bit about it. Okay. So I asked this company and I should not have. And I went against my better judgment. But I asked them for, it was a 6-figure sum, which I shouldn't have never done. And knowing how I am, wouldn't have done it that way. But I did. And I knew I shouldn't have. And I didn't even come across like Michelle. I was like trying to be something that I'm not. And it went down really badly. And this is with a major bank out here in Dubai. And after that, the person that I was speaking with, it cut me off completely. I was reaching out, emailing, WhatsApping, because I had his number, didn't want to speak to me, completely ignored me. It's been a whole year, Romeo. I've been trying to get back in these good books. A whole year, nothing. And I just thought, you know what? Probably that ship has sailed. I should leave it. And then I saw something on LinkedIn and I made a comment under his post and he responded. And I thought, oh. Then I got back in his DM and I said, oh, it's been a long time. How about, I think I said a cup of Karak tea on me. And he found it funny. And I thought, now I'm being myself, right? And he said, oh, I'm traveling. I think he was traveling to somewhere. And he said, when I get back, let's meet up. And he texted me, not last week, the week before. And he said, yeah, I'm back. Let's talk. I can't wait. And the reason why, because I knew that I wasn't being myself. And there's something to be said. Don't try and be someone else.
Is it fair to say that was the lesson that you took away?
That's my lesson. I thought I could do it this other person's way, and I've seen them do it. Let me be braggadocious. And that's not me. And it didn't work, and it failed. And obviously, what I needed at that time was that sponsorship. Of course, I didn't get the sponsorship, and he's, I don't know if he blocked me or whatever, but that was the end of that relationship. But I'm rebuilding, and I know that I had to take a step back and apologize for my behavior, which I did. And that's, who wants to be apologizing like that? But I had to do it, and I learnt my lesson from it. And I thought, Michelle, stick to what you do. And I had to say to myself, if integrity and authenticity takes me longer to get the wealth that I want, then so be it.
Why?
Because people cheat, steal, do what they want to do to get where they want, step on other people. I don't want to be that person. And I think that's what I was trying to be, and it didn't work. So I've learnt now that those with integrity, those that walk in truth and authenticity, it may take them a little longer to get whatever the wealth is or the huge success, what it looks like to you. It might take me a little bit longer, but at least I know I'll do it and I can sleep well at night. That's important.
Thank you for
because I like my
that.
sleep.
Absolutely. Oh, we know. Thank you for sharing that. That actually does say a lot about you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people that maybe got to the height that you have in terms of the knowledge you've acquired and the people you've helped and corporations that you support, people would think that, okay, well, maybe she doesn't give a fuck about any of that, right? Or maybe she's not going to be humble enough to even admit something like that. But you are.
Yeah.
So it shows like, yes, you can very much still be a go-getter, somebody who climbs high, but can still reduce yourself, not reduce in sense of who you are as a person, but reduce your ego.
Yeah.
And the not so tasteful things that
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, yes, lessons in the failure, lessons in the failure.
So what now? What's next?
Yeah, so I'm out here. I'm working on something big, dealing with workforce planning and stabilizing the workforce with what's going on. And someone said to me, but Michelle, it'd be easy if you just worked with this type of people, but you're going for nationals, you're going for Emiratis. And, I said, yeah, it's a challenge.
You're not just going to blow past it like that. Like, whoa, what does that even mean?
So, I have this framework that I have devised and I've worked on before and I've tested, I know it works, but I want to work more with nationals and Emiratis who are going into the workforce, but tend not to stay as long as they should stay for whatever reason. And it's never a blame game, whether it's them or whether it's the organization. But what I want to do is support them on staying and contributing to the company and being an active and valued and committed employee. And I also want to make sure that the leaders or the executives, that they give them space to be the best that they can be, that there's some sort of cultural alignment there, that there is some way that they can progress, and they give them space to bring ideas to the table. So that could be that entrepreneur, that innovator. So that's what I want to do. So I'm partnering now with recruitment companies who they help hire them in, but then don't care what happens after that. That's where I take over. That's where the people's partner takes over to hold their hand through that journey, but make sure that we're giving the leaders the capability, the knowledge, the insights, the learnings on how to manage staff like this who want to be the best that they can be. So that's what we're doing. And yeah, I'm exploring partnerships with a number of organizations who are funded by the government out here, which is really exciting. And then my big thing is to sell the idea, the concept and the proven strategy to the government.
The big one.
To the big one. So we're going to start small. Make sure, I always want to test it. So we want to test when it works, test when it fails, understand where it's failed. And how I see it is see myself as an agile test manager. So we test things. If things don't go wrong, there's no blame. I just need to tweak this. I need to be more on top of this. I need less of this. Or the team needs to get behind that, or all of those kind of things. So I'm keeping all the data so that we can measure it and see what can be done. And then I want to sell the concept, which would then be a proven strategy by then, to the UAE government.
So tell me something. Why is it that in this kind of work culture environment or this globalization of the workforce in general, when it comes to especially this kind of niche or the Emiratis, why is it that that's so appealing to you to kind of work on it and make a strategy out of?
Because the Emirati as a culture, there's a level of, how can I say this in a nice way? It's a good way, but ownership.
Yes. Yeah.
So for them to work for somebody and might be doing what may not be menial to us, but be menial to them, they feel like, no, I don't need to work here. I don't need to do this. I shouldn't do this. But I want to show them, but actually, there's nothing wrong. It doesn't demean who you are to do this. And I want to show them how they can still be the best that they can be within a work culture, where they're working for someone else, whether they be working for someone who's not a national. They might be working for somebody who is from a different country, a different culture, a different race. But I want to show them how they can still be that entrepreneur that they feel that they are, but within an organization, so they can commit to the organization. The organization gets value from it and they still get value from it. And that's where I've tested it with just, the run of the mill, different employees. But I feel that this is going to challenge me, stretch me, Yeah.
Is that what it really is? 'Cause
Yeah.
there's two
It's not
sides of it.
easy.
Yeah,
I know
of
it's not going to be
course.
easy already.
Yeah.
And that's why I want a partner, because I know it's not going to be easy. And I know trying to infiltrate from an outside coming in is hard. It's almost impossible.
So we have a lot going on right now. First of all, we have market penetration,
Yeah.
something that you're developing within that sector. But then it's the whole sector itself. And then I want to bring it to the fact that you always think corporate. That's always your end game,
Always.
right? But in order to get up there, you have to first plant the seeds,
Yeah.
right? So the initiative you're taking is a very good initiative. It's a very positive initiative. You're looking to change something, but you're still thinking corporate.
Yeah.
So you're bridging that gap, and I love that because a lot of people have this misconception that you're either one or the other, and they kind of put you in that box, and you're bringing that together. So how do you see this fully playing out?
Yeah, I think if it works, not if it works, when it does work, I think it's something that then I can roll out, because I don't need to be doing it. I have a team of people, but then I want to do like what we call train the trainer. I might have to give it a new name, but effectively I want to be able to roll out a number of associates who use my framework, use my steps, use my methodology, and they roll this out in a number of organizations. So we go in initially to support at the front end, but then we leave you with the tools and the techniques and the strategy to continue this once we're gone. We don't need people to be reliant on us. That's what we don't want, like a nanny culture. So we're trying to build a culture of organizations that actually see employees as an asset and not just a number and not just a lanyard. And that takes a whole cultural change. So for some companies, it might take years, right? And then some who are quicker, who are quite dynamic, might really take this on quite quickly because they know the competitive advantage to having a working and happy and committed Emirati in their workforce is only going to make them look good in the UAE government stats. So as far as I'm concerned, my company is helping the government reach their targets. It's helping companies reach their targets. It's making sure the Emirati and the national feel comfortable for growth and development there. So I think the company's doing the whole thing.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And hey, just so y'all know, I bought this. So matter of fact, let's just take it back real quick. Where we met.
Yes.
We met at a book event months back. Right? Very random. I only seen you the one time until I reached out to you recently.
Yeah.
Because I've been kind of keeping tabs. I was like, I want to interview you. Right?
Yes.
But when I first met you, it was that story you told me about how you launched your book.
Yeah.
About how you didn't write it, but you just set a launch date.
That's what I'm telling you.
And I'm like, that already tells me everything that I need to know about you.
Yeah.
And I bought this from you.
Thank you.
Read that off rip.
Yes.
And I was like, oh yeah. Yeah, no, she gets it. So with that being said, before we kind of close it down, if you can leave the audience with one thing of value or something you think that they need to know, what would it be?
Most people tend to say they want to make an impact in the world, but this depends on how you show up in your own life, right? So I always say this: how can you make an impact on the world when you're only tiptoeing through life? I intend to make a mark in my life so that I can make a mark in the world. So you cannot tiptoe through your own life and expect to make an impact in the world. So that's where your audit comes in. Yeah. It's how have you shown up in your own life so now you have the story to tell, you have the narrative to prove that you can make an impact in the world.
I think that's everything that needed to be said. So where can they find you?
So I'm very active on LinkedIn and Instagram, Michelle Raymond, and that's on LinkedIn. And on Instagram, it's Michelle Raymond _inspires. But yeah, you can find me under Michelle Raymond. I'm very active on those two platforms.
And I'm throwing you a curveball real quick.
Go for it.
What is the mission statement of you?
My mission statement is to make the invisible visible. That has stayed with me from when it happened with me. But there's so many people who are invisible. And not just invisible because they're not showing up online. They're just invisible. No one really knows what you can do. But my mission is to make the invisible.
Thank you for coming today.
Thank you.
Until next time.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Thank you.